Hey, fam, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. About Donald Trump, of course, he is still crowing, now complaining that there was no obstruction, no collusion, now trying to blame it all on Democrats. But the piece that we still are overlooking is the fact, the impact that Russia had on the campaign 2016. The Mueller Report lays out in detail the role that Russia played, their operatives played, when it came to this election. Well, this morning on the Tom Joyner Morning Show, I talked with counterterrorism expert and MSNBC analyst Malcolm Nance about this. He wrote a book that came out 6 weeks before the election that detailed how Russia was going to try to impact the election. And here's our conversation. Malcolm Nance joins us right now. And Malcolm, this has to be, again, a vindication not only for that book, but also the plot to destroy democracy. And because Mueller lays out where Russia actually accessed voter information in a couple of states, how they were specifically trying to help Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders, their hatred for Hillary Clinton. This was very clear in what he laid out in this report.
Well, good morning, and you're absolutely right. Even though William Barr tried about 3 weeks ago, almost 4 weeks ago, to make it appear that Donald Trump had absolutely no contacts with Russia and that he did nothing to hinder or cover up the investigation, the exact opposite was found out. I mean, even his press conference on last Thursday morning is laughable when you now realize that although the Mueller report showed that there was no criminal conspiracy, it's really the first section of it is 448 pages of two major components. One, how Russia attacked the United States, what their intent was to attack the United States, which was to put Donald Trump in the office of the presidency. And the other component of that was how the Trump campaign accepted all the benefits, and that's a phrase they use in there, expected and accepted the benefits of the Russian effort. Where Trump sort of gets a pass, and only the shadiest of passes, is that the report says that they didn't conspire with Russian government intrusion efforts involved in the hacking. It doesn't say anything more about where they had hundreds of or over 100 contacts, and where in almost every instance they lied to cover up their contacts. And of course, working with WikiLeaks, which is still an ongoing legal matter with Roger Stone. So, it's sort of a vindication, since I wrote a book 6 weeks before the election predicting all of this would happen. All of it has happened. And then I wrote another book, which was 4 chapters of how Russia did it and how the Americans, the Americans in the Conservative Party and Donald Trump seem completely beholden to Vladimir Putin. And one last point, they did not investigate whether Trump was compromised or whether Vladimir Putin holds something over on Donald Trump. Not at all. All they did was research was the individuals in the campaign working with the Russian government in a conspiracy.
And why didn't they?
It wasn't in the mandate of the initial operation. And, the funny thing is I spent 2 years shouting to the high heavens that this investigation started as a national counterintelligence investigation. That's where you hunt down Americans who may, in fact, be working as agents or assets of a foreign power. Mm-hmm. It turns out there were no agents, but there were a lot of assets. And that's a technical term of art. Everybody should understand. I've had people like Andrew Sullivan say that I said Donald Trump was a Russian agent. I have never said that. An agent is a person who actually signs a contract, who is fully aware that he works for a foreign government and intelligence agency and has duties and reporting obligations. Never said that. An asset is a person who can be anything from a useful idiot to a person who understands benefits are coming to them and accepts those benefits. And that's pretty much where we left it with them.
Now, that useful idiot sounds like Alfredo Donald Trump Jr. All right, so
It's a technical term of art, and yeah, it's accurate.
Malcolm, one of the things that, again, going through this report and looking what they laid out, I mean, you have a president who undoubtedly committed obstruction of justice. In fact, Lindsey Graham in 1999, first of all, it amazes me how these people act as if we don't actually can look up old comments. But Lindsey Graham, when he was talking about Bill Clinton, when Republicans went after him and Monica Lewinsky, this is what he said. Clinton, quote, encouraged people to lie for him. He lied. I think he obstructed justice. I think there's a compelling case that he has, in fact, engaged in conduct that will be better for him to leave office than to stay in office. It is undeniable that Donald Trump asked his own subordinates to lie on his behalf, and he lied about the lies. He obstructed justice in firing Comey, trying to fire Mueller, and doing everything he can to sabotage this investigation.
You're absolutely correct, and there's a reason for that, and Robert Mueller writes that reason in the report. He believed that Donald Trump obstructed justice, although he would not draw the conclusion. He laid out all the evidence, right? He had all the evidence was right there because he knew that this was actually up to Congress has the power to remove a president from power, and that was the only legal remedy for a president at this point. But in doing so, he made it eminently clear that the president of the United States was terrified, was afraid that other criminal behaviors which were not within the scope of the report would be found out, one of which was not just the Russian effort and his effort to try to get Hillary Clinton's emails, but also he did not want Trump Tower Moscow to be known about. And that is stated specifically in the report as one of the reasons why he was most likely obstructing justice. And by doing so, he, of course, violated his oath of office. And if there's any reason that any person should have anything to say about what should happen to Donald Trump, it's because he violated his oath of office.
Okay, are you going to predict an impeachment too?
I would like to, but that requires some guts, and but if it was John Madison or Alexander Hamilton, Trump would have been impeached in the first week.
I'll say it right now. You're not going to see impeachment because Democrats do not have the guts to actually do it. They will say, oh, we got an election next year. We don't want to cause any issues. But this is going to give him a pass. And this is a bad precedent for the next presidents that happen because essentially you're saying you can do wrong. We won't penalize you.
Okay.
And guts not apparent in the Washington, D.C. area.
But if it was Republicans in charge, a Democrat would be impeached right now. Malcolm Nance, we appreciate it, man. Thanks so much for your analysis.
Great job.
My pleasure.
In fact, folks, let's go to Politico right down their website. Henry, go to my iPad. Pelosi tamps down impeachment expectations. House Democrats will discuss Mueller's report Monday as they grapple with how to move forward. You also have Donald Trump, who is suing Congressman Elijah Cummings, who is trying to get the financial records of Donald Trump. Now he is fighting back on that front there as well. Avis, I'll start with you. You have Democrats who are operating from the position that, we shouldn't even go down this road. But the reality is Robert Mueller laid out and said it is up to Congress to ascertain whether or not that was obstruction of justice. He presented all of the facts there. The fact of the matter is Donald Trump did try to obstruct justice. And what gets me is all these people who are saying, especially Rudy Giuliani, so I sound like a fool by saying, since it wasn't carried out, it wasn't obstruction. So that means if Eugene said, Roland, I want you to go kill my girlfriend, and here's $20, and I don't do it. Well, we're not going to arrest Eugene for trying to hire a hitman. No, he in jail. I'm in jail.
Absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely. I mean, and I think you really hit the nail on the head a few seconds ago when you said that the Democrats just don't have the guts to do it. I am so tired of these sort of mealy-mouthed, sort of weak positions that the Democrats continue to take around this particular president. And I'm concerned, as was mentioned, about the precedent that this is setting. I mean, we are saying that it's okay to have a lawless person in office who continually, throughout his entire campaign period, had hundreds of connections through his staff with various Russian entities. We also know through the Mueller Report that not all the information was actually gathered from that report. I mean, they even mentioned in the reports that emails and other documents were actually destroyed before they got to see it. So there is ample information there to suggest that illegalities happened. If he was completely exonerated, as he first claimed that he was, then he would be open to letting the whole world see this report, as he initially said that he would. But we all know why he hasn't. We all know why when he found out that he was going to be investigated, that he said, "I am effed." It's because he knew he was guilty then, and we all know that he's guilty now.
Eugene, someone sent a tweet out today that I thought was quite interesting. They said that first, Democrats did not want to go after Russia because they assumed Hillary Clinton was going to win. Right. It didn't happen. They did not want to go after Trump in his first 2 years because midterm elections. The person said, look, don't stop trying to make this mistake that, oh, well, we're going to beat him in 2020. That's the way to do it. At the end of the day, if the president broke a law, then you are to hold the president accountable. My issue is if they do nothing, what they are essentially saying is it's okay what you did.
Yeah, look, Democrats are the party of women. You know, y'all had the year of the women last year. Release your inner Cersei Lannister and go after this kid's throat. I mean, slice his throat. And I'm trying hard not to cuss on your show, Roland.
You cussed a few times.
Yeah, go after his fucking throat. Impeach him. MF got to go. You got the facts right there. It wasn't Mueller's job to come in and give you an end. He gave you the means to the end. He laid out at least 10 times Donald Trump tried to obstruct justice. And today we had, Rex Tillerson go on the record and say, yeah, the president asked me to do some illegal shit. So, at some point in time, you got to grow balls, pull out your knife, and gut him, motherfucker.
I am not, Scott. Scott, I'm absolutely convinced that if this was a Democratic president, even if the Democrats control the Senate,
gone,
and Republicans control the House,
gone,
there would be impeachment hearings.
Well, you saw that with Clinton. They impeached Clinton over lying and obstructing justice over whether he had a marital affair, an extramarital affair. That's essentially what the claims were against Clinton. This is why we can't wait, though. One, you heard a little bit today from Donald Trump. He tweeted that the Mueller investigation never even interviewed my son. And so, therefore, those are the people that are closest to me, and they never did it. If the Democrats don't try to impeach Trump, you're going to hear Trump say in about a year or 2 or 3 months, the Mueller investigation cleared me, and the Democrats didn't even impeach me. So I'm even doubly cleared. The reality is we cannot wait because this was an attack on our system. The 2 impeachments we've had before, Clinton over an extramarital affair and lying about it, and even Andrew Johnson was impeached because they thought that he acted ultra-virously in firing one of his cabinet members, 1, and 2, he talked bad about the Congress. Now, those were 2 impeachments. This one is about Russia's attack on us, about lawlessness in the White House, and about the president who, by all practical purposes, is a Russian asset by definition. And yet, what will the future generation say of this House, of this Senate, for taking no action against this president? I think that's a big problem, and I think you got to go. And you got to impeach him.
And what you have here, Avis, you have a man who literally asked others to lie for him, and and then he said, "I give out orders, and everyone follows my orders." Okay. Well, actually, they didn't, but he asked others to lie for him, and then you have Rudy Giuliani, the biggest corrupt idiot. Oh, well, that's only their side.
He's a liar. Number one, he's a liar. He is a criminal. He is someone who has zero morality and conscience. He does not care about this country. He only cares about aggrandizing himself, amassing his fortune. And so it's not surprising that he asks others to lie. And it's not surprising that he continues to lie every day. Just as A. Scott Bolden says, he understands marketing. And he understands that if you sell a lie enough times, that people are going to believe that it's the truth. And it's because of that we cannot allow him to sort of redirect reality by continuing to lie to the American population.
Well, let's first of all, it sounded like that was Donald Trump crying there. So let's talk about lying. The lying Sarah Sanders. She, of course, has been she admitted to Bob Mueller that when she made the comment that she heard specifically from FBI agents who were not happy with James Comey, she admitted that was a lie. Now, what's interesting is that she said that this was a comment that that Trump had countless conversations with FBI agents who said morale was low and had lost confidence in Comey. That was a lie. The Mueller report said there was no evidence of that there was no evidence of that, and quote, Sanders acknowledged to investigators that her comments were not founded on anything. Now, his was interesting. So she goes to George Stephanopoulos, and they're discussing this. And she then is trying to play this little word game. So then, of course, April Ryan criticizes her, said that she needs to be fired from her job, have her head lopped off, but it's probably not going to happen. Then her lying daddy, Mike Huckabee, Governor Mike Huckabee, he jumps in and then says that she's trying to incite violence against Sarah Sanders, even though he had earlier said that April Ryan should be gutted like a deer. Then you have Sarah Sanders now saying that, April is saying that her head should be chopped off. Okay, anybody who heard the comment knows exactly what April was talking about. But what you have here is an absolute liar in Sarah Sanders. And here's the deal. If there's another White House news conference, a daily presidential briefing from that podium, and she comes out, the moment she says something, every reporter should say, why should we trust what you just said is true?
Exactly.
Because you're a known liar. That should be the response to everything she says. Why should we trust what you said is true? Because you're a known liar. Now, she's not going to lose her job because Donald Trump likes people who lies for him. That's how you keep your job.
Right. Yeah.
If you keep lying for him. He's angry that Don McGahn told the truth. And his campaign, they fired McGahn's law firm as a law firm for Trump's re-election campaign. That shows you how he feels when you actually tell the truth. So Sarah Sanders, sit the hell down. And your daddy, okay, he's such a fake preacher. Okay, so I don't want to hear what he has to say as well. Bottom line is, you are a bona fide liar. And yes, you should be fired. When the president who likes liars, we know it's not going to happen. And so we're just going to keep calling you exactly what you are. A flat-out liar. Unfiltered, be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.